Mason himself. How you doing, sir? Ian Frost wants to know about Fortnite. Oh, what's going on, Cages? I'm alright. Just got through shoveling a whole boatload of snow. Got my early morning workout in. I'm up and at 'em. Oh, appreciate that, Madison. Make sure you subscribe. Send me a like, and I'll keep 'em coming. Like McDonald's cheeseburgers. Yeah, it snowed all night, man. It took me about an hour just to get the driveway. Are you from Ohio? I'm over here in Michigan. Yeah, gotta keep them videos coming like the chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Say hi, Ariana. How you doing? Hi, Ariana. Good to see you. ADITY. How you doing, man? Yep, Michigan. The great state of Michigan. Hey, you know what? Let me give y'all a quick fun fact about beans, right? Something that you may not have known, right? Fact number one: if you eat a lot of beans, beans eat up the sugar in your body and will regulate insulin so you don't end up with diabetes. Number two: if you eat a lot of beans over a prolonged period of time, beans are scientifically proven to improve your mood overall. So after you're gonna be, you know what beans do though, but you eat enough beans, you're gonna be in a good mood. And that explains why the Border Brothers are always happy. And I don't mean that in a racist kind of way. Oh, you like rugby? Yeah, rugby is that's a man's sport right there. Even though I've seen girls play it, definitely seen females play rugby, but or you didn't say rugby, you said Rigby. I don't know what Rigby is. I'm gonna have to look that up. Just like I thought your name said nail salon, but I see it says something else. Nelly Saran. Sorry about that. I mistaked it for nail salon. I thought it was rugby with a U, so I was right. I didn't know it was called Rigby. I thought it's rugby. Sammy, what's the dealio? I'm up early because I had no choice. When you live in a place where it has all four real seasons, you gotta stay up on the outside of your house. You gotta get up and shovel. What is the live stream about? It ain't about nothing. It's just a guy that hit the live button on his phone and started talking. That's all it's about. Just talking. I'm not one of these high paid professionals that work for an agency. I'm just a low budget grassroots kind of guy. We can make it about something though. We can make it about ask me a question and I'll elaborate. Okay. What's the question? Yeah, I don't think he had a real question. They normally don't. What's your opinion about science combined with religion? If I may add, you know what? That's a great question, and as a matter of fact. So I think that they cancel each other out a lot of the time. Science cancels out religion, and religious science cancels out science or uh, physical science. I think that there are scientists that are scientists, there are Christians that are scientists, and there are scientists that are not Christians. I am not a Christian. I was raised in a Christian household, but I laid down any of my religious affiliations because as I aged and matured, I didn't like some of the things that I saw in the religious community. So I said, I'm going to hereby be a non affiliate. I don't want to participate in the malarkey. But I am a man of God. I believe in God. I fear God. I pray to God. I'm still studying the Son of God, which is Jesus Christ. Still studying about him. I haven't came to a conclusion yet, so I ain't gonna necessarily say that, you know, the one true God, of course, the creator of all things, the good God, the one in the sky, that God. Don't make it difficult, man. Whatever you do, do not complicate it, right? If I say God, it's pretty self-explanatory who I'm talking about. The same God they talk about in the Bible. There's no catch 22 to my God. See, you're making it complicated. Epic. Why must you make it complicated? You asked me what God, and I told you what God. The Holy Administrator. That God. It's not very difficult. No, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not any religion. I'm spiritual. But I didn't even finish, Sammy. Religious science and professional science, right? Two totally different fields of study, even though they're studying the same thing. For example, religious science says that man came from dust, and physical science, I don't even know how to name them both, but like Epic Readers, Epic Mixer is trying to throw me off because he keeps, I think he's probably a district attorney by day because he likes to cross examine people. Um, I just think they cancel each other out because if you are a religious scientist, right, you came from carbon, which is the Big Bang theory, right? Um, you can't. I say that they cancel each other out because if you're a Christian scientist, then the Big Bang theory is like it's not even yeah, but Big Bang is what started the Earth and the organisms and the people. Basically, they believe that people came, not even people, but just all organisms, like the trees, the plants, the dinosaurs, the you know, I'm having trouble speaking, man. There's something going on with my esophagus, man. Um, right, organic materials, which is also considered people, animals, birds, fish, all that kind of shit, right? religious people say that God commanded, let there be light. So, in other words, there was already an earth. Uh, he took clay or mud or whatever you want to call it and formed a human being, right? So, you know, um, and I'm not very intelligent when it comes to, you know, formal education, right? I never went to any universities or colleges, or I didn't even graduate high school, right? But I do know this though: regular science and religious science have a lot of arguments about the beginning and how it all started. But what I never understood is, as you move forward into the present time, there's kind of not much science, you know, in the religious arena versus the professional arena. But I do know this: there's a lot of lies when it comes to science, because I read an article a long time ago about how scientists are just like any other group. They have to take an oath to uphold the information that's already out there, even if they find other truths to be factual. They have to uphold oaths, and like that's why scientists, you hear about certain ones getting unalived and disappearing and stuff like that, because some of them are really really smart, and I believe that our best scientists aren't even around anymore because they find stuff out, and then they want to go share it with the world, but they can't because they take a oath. Dawson, how you doing today? You have a great day at school, youngin. Yeah, just like holistic healers. It's really hard to speak on science anyways, because all we can do is go by what we've already been taught, and there's a strong possibility that a lot of that stuff, it's not even fully factual. It's just what we've been taught, man. My thoughts on Australia: I think Australia is one of the greatest places on earth, other than the fact that it's got beaches where millions of spiders hang out. I don't know if you ever seen that, but that shit looks freaky and terrible. You go to the beach to chill out, and while you at the beach, there's like a million damn there's like a million spiders hanging out on the beach. This is the weirdest shit I ever seen. Good morning. I came on strong with the reality that all of this ain't really happening. You know what, Michael? I believe all this shit is really happening. I believe that reality is real. And I believe that illusions are just to throw you off. And I also believe that drugs are bad. All right. What time is it in Australia? You know what? I have no idea. Goofy says it's midnight. I also think Australia has some of the most poisonous spiders on the planet. And my dumbass would love to go catch some of them and put them in a little spider cage and just watch them. Just go put a light in the aquarium and just watch the spiders all day. Just the most deadliest spider on the planet. Just watch him. Yeah, Michael, I am not here to dispute any of your beliefs, but as I see what you write, I will either agree or disagree. Respectfully, of course. Goofy says, Google the quokka. That is the quokka. The quokka. Very scary. Yeah, you know what? Australia's a fucking badass place, though. It's the only fucking island in the world that's got a gigantic desert bigger than California. You know, I love that about Australia, man. Not to mention, Australian women will come up to you if they like you. Here in America, you got to go up to women with your Cash App, be ready to pay for love. But over there, the women will come up to you. If they like you, and you're a man, you ain't got to do nothing. Cool Stingray says, as the wind whips around, I take a breath for victory. Want to play tag or wave the white flag? Because you'll never touch me. No doubt. And Mud Shark is just trolling. He likes to talk about gay stuff. Michael says, I gotta roll. I can't be caught in a live with Goofy. No doubt about it. Damn, Goofy. They don't want to be seen with you, bro. My beanie is always close by, sir. Since you want to say something about the infamous beanie, you know what I'm saying? You want to say something about the infamous beanie? Let's put that thing on, man. This is my thick beanie because I was out there shoveling snow. So, I got multiple beanies, bro. Mandingo Fighter. He says, I live in Australia. I had a massive funnel web spider nest in my garage. Shit was wild. Hundreds of them. Each one could kill an adult. Yeah, you know what? Check this out. They had this story, bro, about Kentucky, United States of America. It was this family that lived in this house that was infested with brown recluse spiders, man, for years too. I think the spiders lived in the house for like 5 years, and it was a whole multiple generations of brown recluse spiders, man. And the people in the house said that they had never got bit by these spiders. And if you know anything about a brown recluse spiders are they're not just poisonous, they're toxic. Like, for example, if you get bit by a brown recluse, you don't get sick and all that. The area around the fucking bite starts to liquefy from the inside out. I knew a white dude in jail that had this big crater in his leg, and I thought he got shot or something, right? So one day I just asked him, like, hey, bro, what happened to your leg, man? And he laughed and he said, oh, man, I got bit by a brown recluse. I was like, you got bit by a brown recluse? He was like, yeah, man, I didn't know it was a spider, so I didn't go to the hospital right away. And by the time I went to the hospital, my whole fucking leg around the area was black and crusty. And when I went, the doctor said we can either cut out the dead meat or we can cut your whole leg off. It's your choice. So he said just cut out the meat. But they had to cut so much out of it that it was just a gigantic crater in his leg, man. That shit was crazy. I was like, bro, I don't ever want to deal with no damn brown recluse spider, man. Them things make you look like, if you don't go get it treated right away, very, very, very dangerous. And you know, but although I don't like spiders, I ain't afraid of them. Like, if I see a real dangerous, deadly spider, you know, I'll catch him, put him in a cup or something, and take him outside. That's about it. I don't kill anything, bro. I don't even like to kill flies. I'm trying to make a good impression for God, bro. I really am. And so I believe that all lives matter. I don't just say that shit. I really mean it. Like, when I see bugs and shit, I don't be trying to kill them. If they in the house, if I can catch them, I'll take them outside and release them into the wild. Never been a hunter. I don't believe in hunting and shit, which a lot of people do, man. They got guns specifically made just for hunting. But Cool Stingray says, I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter. But I got no. But I got no. Whatever that word is. Phobia, phobia, phobia. I don't know what's up with Cool Stingray, man. We're just going to let him chill out and spill out. Yeah. You know, well, the thing about Michigan is they have brown recluses in Michigan, right? I'd rather have a spider chilling in the corner than flies around my room. Yeah, no doubt. But the thing is, if you got spiders in your house, eventually the flies are gonna get trapped in the web. So, you know. But if you keep your doors and windows closed, the flies will eventually take themselves out. You ain't got to go chase them all around the house. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't the point. I'm just saying that when I had got this last new job that I had, bro, I my like second day there, I was moving some shit around, and some big ass spiders came from under some stuff that I was moving. And the boss man was like, "Oh my god, kill it, kill it!" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't kill spiders, bro." So I went and grabbed a notepad and a cup, scooped his little ass up, walked him outside, and released him. And then about a few hours later, I came across another one, did the same thing. You know, I just don't, I don't be on that kind of shit like that. I just, it's just a personal thing for me, man. Not saying I ain't never killed no bugs. I remember one time, I had to get rid of some mice, and I did the mice wrong, bro. I did them wrong. But you know what? They never came back. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm gonna stick to what I already believe, though, bro. If you don't mind, I'm gonna stick to what I already believe until you know otherwise. Until further notice. Yes, mosquitoes carry diseases, so you know, like I said, I'm not saying that I won't kill an insect because I will, but I try to avoid it as much as I possibly can. Sachs said I look like I'm Indian. You know what I could be. Do I like Charlie Kirk? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I don't speak on the dead, bro. There's no reason to. Charlie Kirk is not a living figure, unless you're talking about some other Charlie Kirk that I'm not aware of. You know, I don't speak on the dead, man. There's no reason to do that. We had plenty of time to talk about him while he was alive. The world would end without mosquitoes. Yeah, that's what they say about honeybees too, bro. Try to save up and go on a trip to New Zealand, the fourth corner of the world. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind going to New Zealand. New Zealand is a very, very beautiful part of the world, but they don't want unhinged Americans in New Zealand. They don't want us unhinged motherfuckers over there. All that political shit just to divide both sides of the suit all the same. Yeah, I can dig it, man. Don't be unhinged. Well, I'm not unhinged. I just know that a lot of people outside of the United States territory feel like Americans are full of scolding hot iced tea, man. They don't particularly mess with us like that because Americans are a little bit, you know, we kind of have this weird little arrogance about ourselves. So, dude, you're a philosopher? Question mark. Um, I wouldn't consider myself a philosopher, but I do have interests in philosophy, no doubt about it. Oh, did you? Well, I didn't see the likes go up, so you know, it depends here. Some of yours gets accepted and some not in New Zealand. Um, Sax, I don't intentionally set out to find philosophy, no. But when I come across it, I'll check it out. You know what I'm saying? FD, I knew that you unsubscribed days and days ago. Don't worry, it's your choice. I don't hold it against anybody. If you don't rock with what I got, then I'm still gonna get to my goals no matter what. You know, that's the beauty of compiling stuff. One person, you know the old saying, one monkey don't stop no show. P. Diddy is a personal hero of mine. Not a fan of his music though. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Am I gonna attack the chat today? Well, it depends. Are you gonna attack me today? Yeah, we have a stereotype of being friendly and we tip well. Okay. I don't have a religion, Sax. I am just a spiritual individual. Yeah, I'm just a spiritual individual. I don't identify with no religious affiliations. Well, I appreciate that, FD. We're being calm, cool, and collective this morning. I'm kind of burnt out because I just got through shoveling the entire front of the house. I started at 6 a.m. No, I started at 7, a little bit after 7. But I ain't been feeling good, man. I got inflammation at the top of my stomach, and it's really been sapping my energy, man. Bruh, do you like Prodigy from Mob Deep for real? Prodigy from Mob Deep was a talented rapper, and according to his notes in his memoir, he was not a member of the Illuminati. Prodigy was a guy that got in the game and understood that the game was rigged, and then he passed away shortly thereafter. Even though he had been in the game for years, he realized that he could only reach so far unless he took the oath to go farther. But then, in order to do that, he would have to change the dynamic of his music. So he put it in his notes. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about because after his untimely demise, a lot of little notes that he had were released to the public. And, it could have been a cover up just to like preserve his name. You never know with these cats, but I think that he wasn't a part of none of those cults that took over the rap game. Yes, I think Jesus was created. Yes, I do. Why do I think that? Because I read a book when I was incarcerated. I read a number of books, man. Not just novels. I read actual books. I read books about Freemasonry. I read books about the beginnings of Africa. I read lots of books, man. And one of the books I read was about the creation of Jesus Christ and who he really was. Not Jesus Christ, but the guy on the picture that we all have came to know and love. You know, the white guy that's always looking up in the air or's got the 1,000 yard stare. That guy, man. Supposedly, he was the son of a criminal thousands of years ago. His dad was a bootlicker. I mean, a bootlegger, excuse me. He was a rapist, a child molester, just an overall scum bucket, overall scumbag. And he had a son, and he was like the most feared man. So people respected his son very highly, but his son was nothing like his dad. His son was actually a good guy. So they started worshiping his fucking son because they were scared of his father. And somehow he turned into like Jesus over time. Like that's who he turned into. You can find this story I'm talking about. It's out there. It's just you got to look for it. Maybe you want to ask Google or put in DuckDuckGo, was the Jesus that we know's father a criminal? Start with his father being a criminal, and you'll find the same story I did. And it's an interesting story. You know what I'm saying? Wyatt, what's going on with it, man? Leah, how you doing today? They say he was killed by those you know. People that I know, huh? I mean, is there any evidence about any of this shit? No, there's not. We have completely went off of blind faith about Jesus. There's no evidence. All there is a book of records of what people said that, you know, the world back then was real magical, but I don't understand where the magic went. Where did all this supernatural behavior go? How come people were able to do shit then that we can't do now? It's almost like they tricked us into believing some straight bullshit, because if there is magic back then, like real magic, not this illusionary magic of today, I'm talking like real miracles, not just by Jesus, but like, what about the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? They got thrown in the fire and didn't burn. I don't care how many people are on earth right now. If you throw any one of them in fire, they are going to burn. So it's just like, that's one of the things that, like, and then the world is so fucking stupid and fucked up, is that if you don't believe it with blind faith, then you're considered ungodly and you're all this bullshit. And it's just like, you got all these, like, I just like miss me with that shit. All it, like, miss me. I don't want to talk about it. We're not even going to go down that rabbit hole for the simple fact that people believe with blind faith and they try to use religion as a badge to be able to put religious authority on other people to believe in some shit that clearly it is blind faith. It's blind faith, because blind faith means that you don't have any evidence. Now, it's okay to have blind faith in certain things, but like, you're not going to tell me that tigers could fly and I'm supposed to believe that with all my heart, when in fact there's still tigers around and they in fact don't fly anymore. So I'd be like, okay, well, what happened to all the flying fucking tigers? Because in the Bible, not the Bible, this is just like an example. The Bible says that tigers was flying back then. Well, how come they're not flying now? So, it's just like, you got to think about shit like that. You know, the Bible is, you know what? Just recently, like within the other day, this girl said she believes the Bible is based off the zodiac signs, especially since, God was the energy that doesn't exist as a man. Jesus, his son, is the earth, and his 12 apostles were the 12 zodiac signs. And the way she broke it down, it really had me thinking, like, you know what? Ain't nobody broke it down like that before. That's something to think about, right? But, it's just, religion is something that I'm not going to sit here and kick dirt on religion, because I was raised in a Christian household. We went to church. You know what I mean? Like, we did all that shit. But, like, as I got older, I just started to feel like some of this shit is garbage and it's not true. And these people were just saying shit to me, it seems silly, because it's like, you're not going to believe that people had all these magical abilities to perform miracles then, but we're not able to do it now, right? Because, and this is what I based that on, the simple fact that the same way shit was messed up then, it's messed up now, right? It's like it's just a different time. That's it. Everything else is the same, but the timeline is different. People are the same. People are still committing all types of sins, and everything that was going on when Jesus was around is going on now. Everything. The only difference is ain't nobody out here performing miracles, right? There's a lot of things, and then they even try to go a step farther by saying, "Oh yeah, you remember when he split the Red Sea and the Commodores or whoever the fuck the conquistadors, whoever they were, that crossed the fucking seabed, they got the fucking nerve to be like, oh, we found evidence. We found the 12 horsemen's buggies. The wheels are still intact. Like who the fuck do these people think we are? You know, but like they can't find a sunken ship, but they can find some dudes that was around when Jesus split the Red Sea. So it's just like you think, and you just like, you just like, nah, man. That shit is on hold for me, man. Why do I blame God for my actions? I don't blame God for my actions. I don't blame I don't blame God for anything, man. I thank God, you know. But all I'm telling you is that nowadays you'll never ever get me to believe some of the shit that I done heard about religion. In any religion. Because like I said, if man was made to be able to perform miracles, we would still have that ability, right? How could a civilization that was supposed to be, you know, Stone Age basically, like real fucking ancient, like they lacked a lot of knowledge. Now I'm completely of the mind that with some of the knowledge that they didn't have that we have today would have made them stronger and more connected in other areas that we are weak in today. All in all, though, we should still be able to perform miracles. And as I've seen in my 44 years here in existence, all the miracles that we've really seen had nothing to do with magic. If a motherfucker survives a plane crash or a motherfucker gets into a car accident and gets their car ripped apart, people say that's a miracle he survived. You know, Arya, what's going on? But, you know, I just decided that I was going to have a personal relationship with my creator because I look around and it's very clear that we were created by some type of power greater than ourselves. We didn't just we didn't just occur one day, you know. But then like there's even more evidence to say that we may literally just be intelligent parasites living on the skin of some fucking animal, and we just think that there's some divine shit going on. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to look at it, right? But like I said, hey man, if there were true miracles and true magic that we were capable of, don't you think that we would still be able to perform some of these magical miracles? Like, and I don't want to argue about it. All I want is a yes or a no. Like you would think that some of the things that are spoke on shouldn't be like from a distant ancient history that it's almost like when I read the Bible and I listen to everything in the Bible, I'd be like, I feel so disconnected to the past. It almost seems like it's not real because the things that went on then are like you look around and you see that reality doesn't have any of those elements whatsoever, like none. And so I just am like, well, that's a problem for me because if those people, no, there was many people that experienced miracles and that had abilities to do stuff. I just told you about, King Nebuchadnezzar when he threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the damn fire. And that's not even how you say their names correctly, but that's how I say them. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, something like that. They didn't burn. They stood there in the fire and they were good. That they wasn't Jesus. And they got thrown in the fire because they wouldn't worship a king that built a statue of himself and wanted to be worshipped like he was God. They said that, we're not going to worship you because you're not God. And so he was like casting them to the fire and they didn't burn. But you tell me, sir, if someone casted you into a fire pit, you think you're going to not burn? Boy, you're going to be screaming and screaming and screaming until it's over. And then, of course, Noah built the ark. And to my knowledge, not very many people helped him, you know. So, I don't know, Matthew. I have no idea. But I can tell you this like, hey, man, each man believes his own, whatever he chooses to believe. And me personally, I've never seen nobody levitate. I've never seen, only thing that I believe that I've ever seen that was considered something outside of the reality that we're used to is seeing an unidentified light in the sky at night that I was not able to explain to this day. Other than that, everything else is pretty fucking normal. You know, I've seen other stuff that I won't speak on, but it ain't nothing that nobody else has claimed. I never seen no fucking aliens. I never seen no reptilians. I never seen a lot of shit that is supposedly out there. I wasn't, the one that was chosen to see it, but I have seen my share of little bits of shit that make me question, how thin the fabric from reality to spiritual is. It's very thin, I believe, but um, I hope that answers your question. Hey, what's going on, Quar? I will be right back, man. That is someone I've never seen anybody. Can you lower your tone because there's. Well, that's your opinion. No, well, when I cook them at my house, there's always going to be rice in them. Okay, well, then don't eat it in my house then. It's just unnecessary. Okay, well, don't eat it in my house then, because there will always be rice in my motherfucking meatballs. Okay, well, you heard it here first. All right. All right, we are back. And before I went out and shoveled the snow, I ate some pancakes and had some coffee. But damn if I ain't got heartburn now. So you're gonna hear me burping a little something. A little bit of burping. Um Sachs says, what do you think about the Buddha and Buddhism? Man, I think you can dress up any religion any way you want. You can put little trinkets and gold statues and lots of serious looking believers, but at the end of it, it's all exactly the same. It's all remarkably unremarkable to me. And if it wasn't, I would have chose some religion to be a part of, but I chose not to. I decided that religion is just something for people to believe. That's it's simple as that. It is just literally something for the people to put hope and faith and everything else into. And that's the exact reason why man took that little small window to add deception into it. I believe religion came from somewhere of significance, but over the thousands of years, a lot of deception got inserted into it. The same way you inject a candy bar with some poison is the same way they injected religion with poison. Poisonous thought, false false information, but they did it under the disguise of sounding real, you know. Like you know how many stories on the movies that they say based on a true story. Hey man, that based on a true story statement is a wide spectrum. I'll give you another example. Products that have all natural on them, or even if it says 100% natural, you should look at the laws surrounding the company being able to make that statement. If a company puts all natural on a product of theirs, there are laws and parameters that a company has to fall within to be able to say that. Just like the same reason that McDonald's can no longer call their milkshake a milkshake, right? Because it's not milk. So they have to like ditch the milk and just call it a shake. Same with a lot of these candy bar companies. Over the years, they done got so cheap and synthetic that the chocolate on the candy bar is not even chocolate no more. It's so heavily modified and processed that shit looks like chocolate, tastes like chocolate, eats like chocolate, but that shit is not chocolate. And you'll see that you won't find chocolate candy bar anywhere on some of these labels anymore. So, with that being said, right, the parameters of being able to call your product all natural, it only has to be 40%. And that was as of 2005, right? A company only had to make their product be 40% natural and 60% synthetic. And within the legal parameters, they could still say it's all natural. So you're sitting up here buying into the hype, telling all your friends, like, oh, yeah, girl, I eat that all natural, when in fact, you're eating 60% processed, genetically modified, and only 40% of it is actually natural. And even if it is natural, believe me, you should really look and research what exactly makes it natural, because you might be eating the fucking mold that naturally grows in a tank or some weird shit. They always got some crazy shit. You know, uh, sugar substitute, aspartame, right? Does anybody know how that, synthetic sugar aspartame is created? That sweet shit. Does anybody have any idea how aspartame is created? Aspartame is a sugar substitute. But does anybody know how it's made? I don't know how it's made, but I know what I heard though. Exactly. Turbo, you are absolutely and 100% correct. That bacteria, to be exact, is E. coli. You know, that shit that kills you if too much of it gets in your gut? Yeah, that bacteria that it poops out, or the bacteria that poops out the aspartame chemical, is pure lab grown E. coli. And people put that shit in their coffee. So the point I'm trying to make is you can call that all natural sugar substitute. If you don't dig deeper and find out that the only reason they're saying it's natural is because they considered E. coli a natural occurring bacteria. And so whatever it excretes out of the organism is also considered all natural. But do you consider some shit like that to be natural? Because I don't. I think that's nasty as fuck, to be honest with you. And they got many, many, many products like that. That's just one that I came up with. Aspartame is some sick, nasty shit. And you got millions of people every fucking morning, including this morning, who wake up and say to themselves, I don't use sugar because I'm trying to be healthy. So they go dump some fucking E. coli shit in their coffee, thinking that they're being healthier, thinking that they're being smart about it. But it's literally the shit from E. coli. Like, that's gross. That's fucking disgusting, right? They do the same thing with black mold, right? In food and shit, right? Like, M&M's got beetle. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Crushed, crushed, crushed beetle skin. Like, it's all this bullshit, right? But like, they sit up here and got the nerve to say that this is natural, and you know why? Because the federal government says, as long as you fall within 40% of natural, you can put a big all natural on the label, and that is literally deceiving the people. That's literally deceiving the people, man. But like, that's why I'm trying to make all these comparisons so you can see how I look at the Bible and how I look at religion. And I've said this more than twice. Hey, bro, deception is a very crafty business, right? The art of lying to people without actually lying, but you're lying like a motherfucker, but you're doing it in such a way to where you're telling people the truth, but it's like really a lie, but it's like still the truth though. And it's basically playing on your blind spots. You know what I'm saying? And people go for that shit. So, I just feel like the same goes for religion, man. And because of that, I'm up in the air about religion. Just call me spiritual. I believe in our ancestors. I believe in the ancient Africans and Indians and the natives and the this and the that. Like, you know, but I believe in the man or the energy that created all of us as well. But to sit here and follow the Bible and all this weirdo shit, trying to sell this truck today, man, but too many people are full of shit. They want me to send the Carfax over on my truck. Like, fuck you mean the Carfax, man? What do you think this is? You think this is Carvana? I'm trying to sell a car for cash to get it out the driveway, and you want the Carfax? Man, if you don't come get this shit, man. But see, that's just proof of people just always thinking they fucking trying to be smart. Like, it's a such thing as being so smart, you end up being stupid. It's a such thing. You know, um, Turbo Christ says it's modern day witchcraft with the food and the packaging and everything. You goddamn right it is, man. And that's what I'm trying to translate to. It's crazy because by the time I'm done translating the shit, the people that asked the original question, they're not even in the fucking chat anymore. Now I'm talking to a whole new group of people. So, but it's cool because they can always go back in the past and they can rewatch this live whenever it's finished and uploaded. They can just go back and watch it and get reacclimated with everything that was said. But um, there's a lot of deception out there, man. But they call it the truth. They call it the truth. For example, has anybody seen the newest skit that my boy what's his name? Fat ass nigga Drewski made about the church and the reverends about the offering and shit like that. I know y'all seen this Drewski shit, right? And I'm gonna tell you, at first I didn't like Drewski. I thought Drewski was I thought I didn't like him at first, but the more I watch him, I'm kind of starting to see where he's going with it. And I'm noticing that a lot of these comedians are actually telling the truth. They're just telling it in a way that makes you laugh. And this fool didn't expose some real sensitive shit, man. So, I got my eyes on Drewski now. After this latest skit he just put out, man, I can't believe he did this shit. Boy, you gonna have churches putting a hit on you, boy. You better watch out everywhere you go. Cause if you better watch out, especially if he does a skit about, you know, homosexuality inside the church. Oh man, that's gonna uh that's gonna be too much for people to handle, man. Pillow Pillow Worker says, "You like Puff Daddy, of course you like Drewski." Yeah, yeah, okay. Religions are based on moral frameworks. I think truth trumps all of that. Yeah, I agree, man. And that's exactly that was well spoken, Arya. Religion is based off your moral compass, right? But that's also why I chose to just have a spiritual standpoint because my morals and my instincts tell me that's the best possible position to be in this world full of deception. It's like I don't need to affiliate myself with any religious group to prove that I'm a religious individual. You know what I mean? And so it ain't about not wanting to be a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or any of that shit. It's just that, hey man, to me that shit is like gang banging, right? And I've already did all that street style gang banging. So I'm not gonna get into my mid 40s and turn into a religious gang banger because it ain't that motherfucking serious, man. Each man believe, laugh and go. What's going on, man? Each individual believes how they want to believe. If you get up every Sunday and go to church and you pray with everything inside of you and you really talking to God and you really taking all that shit serious, then all the fake motherfuckers around you in the pews just there to look cute and shit, that is not going to affect your relationship with the holy administrator. So that's what's up. It's just me. I'm the kind of guy that I ain't trying to even be around like these types of individuals, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to do a little something, man. Just really talking a dose of reality um through my own experience, you know, not trying to indoctrinate nobody with my own viewpoints, but just trying to, give you a better understanding of who I am and what I stand for and what I stand on. And it's morals, integrity, uh, and my principles and that's it. It ain't even that deep. It's just that it gets deep when people start questioning you about, well, why? Well, why, T? Tell me what. Well, so you mean to tell me that you don't believe? Oh, well, then you're faking, da da da, because you think that like, dude, shut the fuck up, because that's not what we supposed to be talking about. This ain't about me. This is just about me saying that it ain't even about control. It's just hey, there's a lot of deception in this motherfucking world. And you got to be able to catch as much of it as possible because then you'll be uncontrollable. Damn, FD. FD says, so you don't believe in Freemasons and Satanists? Of course. I believe that they are a real organization that do real satanic things behind closed doors and the innocent individuals. Absolutely. I believe that that shit goes on. You know, there's there's lots of literature about it. It ain't even a secret. It's just that the people doing it keep it all a secret, but it's really not a secret because you know it happens. You just don't have physical evidence of it happening unless you're a part of. Why do you think you see a lot of entertainers when they take photos, they always got their finger to the mouth like this? That's what that means. That's that that's that that's that cult shit. That means something. That mean anytime you see a celebrity, I don't give a fuck if it's an entertainer, a rapper, a singer, anybody that's a celebrity, and they take a photo doing this shit or this shit or this shit, it's all the same. Signs and symbols and synchronicities. That's how you know that it ain't even deep enough to where you need to believe. Motherfucker, they tell you without telling you, you know, of course. Yeah, that shit is real. But this is the one, though. That's the one. The goat head. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, Dr. Spo, I respect your opinion as long as it's your humble opinion and respectfully, sir. No, man makes everything real. Man gives all this thought power to manifest into something tangible and physical. You know what I'm saying? Everything could be just in thin air until somebody thinks about it, and then the power of persuasion makes you fall into, you know, um, fall in line with. That's why they say words are spell work, spoken words. So you write shit down and you spelling it because it's you know, come on, dude. You better not be winding up in here neither, man. Because if so, I'm gonna throw you out the window. The cat's gonna start crying, man. Don't shut up, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. Hey, man. You know, believe what you want to believe, man. Just know that there may come a time that you're gonna have to answer for the way you chose to live your life. And that's all of us, not just you, not just her, not just him, all of us. Hold on, I gotta get rid of this damn cat. Come on, Lou. You ain't even coming here making all that damn noise. And I don't care what you say. All you've been doing is crying for a week straight. I don't know why. I don't care why, but get your ass out of here. But I damn sure love the animals, though. I was being nice to him. I just said he wasn't gonna come in here with all that crying. It's the office space. He only being horny any damn way. So I'm gonna read this out loud. So Phil says, I know a group of women who cast spells. Are they evil or are they delusional? Should I welcome them or do the big hats did to them? I don't know what NGL means. They are super nice to me. I don't know, man. That's enter at your own risk, use your own discretion, brother. I can't answer that. You talking about actual people that might be on the live right now listening to see if I'm gonna say some old hateful shit. So, hey, listen, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just say use your discretion. If you want to hang out with witches that are known witches, hey man, that's your choice. What's the difference between delusional and evil? I don't know. People throw that word delusional around nowadays entirely too much. According to popular belief and the opinion of the crowd, every damn thing is delusional. Everything. Like, there's so many delusional people walking around nowadays that, you know what? Hey, man, hey, I don't know. I think we can all agree on what evil is, though. Evil is as evil does. So if you encounter some shit that you think is messed up and fucked up and terrible, caused to another person, and it feels evil to you, then that's probably the definition of evil for you. Marlon, what's the word on the curb, sir? A lot of people like evil shit. That's the world we live in, man. Evil is the new good. And I can't rock with it, man. I never wanted to intentionally be an evil person. You know, I don't really care about what evil people do though. Cause man, I'm a switch hitter, Marlon. You got to keep up with my schedule, man. That's all. You got to understand, man. I'm unemployed, so I turn on and off anytime I'm ready to, man. I ain't on nobody's schedule. Yeah, man. Truth is very unpopular, man. You know, a lot of people lost their lives speaking the truth over many timelines. You know, lots and lots of people were taken out simply by speaking the truth, right? Because some people speak truth that really stings others because they really be on that shit that people be speaking on, right? And so, you know, you got to be careful if you want to be a truth teller because you will get taken out of here for being a truth teller. And that's a big fact. And, you know, history has shown us time and time again, even Charlie Kirk as a quick, you know, recent example of speaking any type of truth will put you in grave danger. I don't know, Desmond. I really don't know. I don't know if evil is a human's true nature. That's what they say. But then, if that's the case, then how did God come into play? You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna have to agree to disagree on a lot of different things. All we know is that evil is definitely a big part of our society in today's modern world, and you better beware of people with evil intent because evil usually means a loss of life, right? That's true evil, loss of life, right? So just make no mistake about what evil is. Evil is harming you with no conscience, right? That's what evil is. Harming people, harming the well-being of anybody with no conscience, with no fear of consequence. You know, that's evil, man. I'm 43, sir. I'll be 44 in 2 weeks. Okay. So you know, use your own discretion, man. Whatever you believe in is Hey, can somebody please type to Music Fan not to kick nobody? I don't want moderation to take place. Leave everybody. I don't care who says what. Can somebody type it? Because Music Fan says that Music Fan can't hear, but Music Fan can read the comments. So can someone type what I said to Music Fan, because I can't type it. Yeah, man, it's a superficial world, uh Aria. Very, very superficial. The law tries to regulate her treatment, but never asks her opinion. She's a contract. Thank you. Thank you. Highly appreciate it. You know, I would simply say, if you don't believe that you want to be defined as an evil individual, then be defined as a good individual. Do what you believe is good, right? And it sucks because we're living in a world now where, by me simply saying that, a motherfucker will still go out there and do evil and say, well, I thought evil was good, that's why. So it's just like, it's really hard to explain to crowds of people, because there's so many different people and different dynamics that it's just like, I don't this world we're living in is just fucking retarded, man. It's very, like, everything is just fucked up, man. It's like, you tell people, hey man, identify yourself as a good person, and they'll still go out and identify as evil because they'll say, oh well, I thought being evil was good. So it's just like, you know what, forget it. I'm done. Do what you want to do. But I'm gonna throw my messages out there regardless. But at the end of it, take what resonates to you and discard the rest, right? If you understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from, great. If not, even better. But at the end of the day, I'm just here, in my little corner, you know, saying what I need to say. I don't wake up with ill intent for anybody ever. Life ain't that serious to me, man. But there's a lot of people that they're dead set on, being a fucking asshole, right? They're dead set on, I'm gonna harm and get over and backstab and betray and backdoor as many people as I possibly can, and all the while I'm hollering, you know, fuck God. Please forgive me for saying that, God, but I had it to use that as an example. There's a lot of people that don't have common sense, and that's exactly why that statement, common sense is not so common. Hey man, there's a reason, because that's the truth, man. It's like, people don't have as much common sense as we think that we should have, which is crazy because everybody claims that Americans are so smart. You know what I mean? We're so smart out here in America, but no, the fuck we not. We're actually extremely stupid, and we go for just about anything, and that's cool. That's fine. Because there's also a statement that says, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." So, in other words, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just focus on what you got going on and how you want to show up energetically. And if you can do that, then you won't have to be, following behind people. Because a lot of times, man, we're living in a world full of followers, and that's all it is. It's people rather follow than try to lead. It's easy to be a follower. It's extremely difficult to be a leader. Being a leader means you got to pave your own path. You got to be a pioneer. You know, you're going to walk a lonely road as a leader. False leaders got lots of followers and big congregations, right? We see that shit all the time. A false leader usually has a hidden agenda, but real leaders are usually by themselves. Malcolm X was a leader. He got taken out by his own people. So, you know, you really just gotta like use your best judgment. That's what they always told me at my jobs when I was unsure about how to do a job properly, and they knew I knew what to do, but I just didn't know how to tackle it at that moment. They would say, use your best judgment, because they knew that my best judgment would be the correct judgment on the task. So I've used my best judgment in a lot of life situations. Henriette says, may we be in the light in a broken world. Absolutely. No doubt about it. But I don't think that I don't think we're in a broken world. I think that the world is operating exactly as it was intended to operate. I don't think people are broken at all. I really don't. I think people nowadays, they're standing on they're standing on their beliefs. There's not a bunch of lost people out here. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people that are intentional who know exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we are an intelligent nation. We just use our intelligence for, you know, forged against our neighbor, you know, or our peers. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just want to get over on each other because that's what we're taught. Let's be real. If you grow up in America, you are literally taught to go against your peers, to get over, to finesse them. I was saying that in the earlier live a few days ago. Hey man, we are taught to be finessers because we are governed by a finesse government, and that's because our government is not a real government. Our government is a corporation that makes money off of the people. And so, you know, making money off the people, but you know, charading as being a authentic government, but the fine print will tell you exactly the type of nation that you live in. But it's the reason it's in the fine print, because if you fucking knew and you fucking learned how everything really works, then you would understand why you grow up to be a damn finesser, and why your government finesses you, and why you have to pay taxes even though you know that the taxes are just a ransom that you're paying. Let me see what Marlon said. Marlon says, Mr. T, why are you sounding anti American? That's not cool. I'm not sounding anti American, man. I was born in America, you know. It's just a whole lot of anti American shit that goes on in America, on American soil. That's all. Why you think, since we've been in this chat for the last 80 minutes, the word Israel and Jew didn't pass through the damn chat 150 times, right? What does Israel or Jew got anything to do with me chilling in Michigan talking to people on United States soil? You feel me? So, you know, you got to think, man, like I said, the American government is a business, and the business is to finesse the people. You know what I'm saying? And so the people get finessed their whole life. They grow up, and not only that, right? Not only that, because I'm missing a big part of the fact that, you know, we're also living in a highly satanic society, right? And everybody knows that being a satanic individual comes with different things, like being a warlock who practices evil intent, like as a business. Motherfucking witches who try to steal power and control people, and, you know, just do all this weird shit. So it ain't anti-American. It's just American is home of the finessers. You know what I'm saying? So, right, when a person wants to be real about it, that's how it's going to come off, because that's the truth. Is that American is really not American. It's just we got examples from all over the world, and we kind of just are the kind of people that will seize opportunities to be right anytime it's beneficial, even if you're wrong, even if you have to lie, cheat, and steal. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the motherfucking discussion, just do what you feel is right if you're into that kind of thing, right? Because that's what I'm into, doing what I believe is the right thing. Because if I was into doing the wrong thing, I would have been gone a long time ago, either in a grave or doing a life sentence in prison. There was many times I felt like doing some evil shit to somebody, not because I was just, you know, I was just inspired to be a piece of shit, but because somebody did something to me, right? And because somebody did something to me, my reaction to their bullshit was to do something extremely foul and fuck them over in the worst way, right? But I didn't. I didn't do that. But let me tell you this though: people did it to me. I didn't got fucked over in the worst way by people for no reason at all. There wasn't even a reason why I got fucked over. You know what I'm saying? I never did nothing to these people, but they did everything under the sun to me. Called me everything but a child of God, right? So, so I still held on to my integrity and my morals the best that I could. But that's not to say I'm perfect. That's not to say I'm better than nobody. That's just to say that I don't wake up with the intent to harm anybody on a day-to-day basis. If anybody's still in here from an hour ago, you also heard me say I don't even like to kill bugs because I feel like all lives matter, like down to the smallest organism, right? I don't have any power to take the life of anything. We do, but is it right? I don't know. I guess if you need to eat, I guess that ain't wrong. I mean, it happens in the animal kingdom, and they don't have the mind or the spirit of a human being, right? But they kill to live. So I mean, I guess it's right in certain moments, certain situations. Will I ever do public meetups? Um, yeah, absolutely. I ain't scared of nobody. I'm not afraid. I don't live my life in seclusion. It's just I didn't know nobody was interested in meeting me in public. There's a lot of crazies out there, so I probably would want to have a bodyguard with me just in case, something goes wrong. Yeah, no doubt about that, Aria. I just read your message. Yeah, I would want a bodyguard if I started meeting people in person. I would like to have a meetup as long as I had a armed security guard. I'm talking about heavily armed. Because if you try something, I just want you to know that something very bad might happen to you. When I was in, right before I got out in 2013, 2012, I mean, I had a altercation with the same guy 3 times in a row. We fought 3 times in a span of a week, and on the third fight, I got my tooth went through my lip, and his eye got swollen shut. We just didn't like each other. That was all it was. He would do little shit that I didn't like, and when I asked him to be respectful, he felt like he didn't have to be respectful. So I knew right then and there, I'm gonna have to force the issue, because if I don't, this dude is gonna sit here and think he finna get away with something, and that is not how this is finna go down. So in 2012 was the last time that I officially had to throw a punch and whoop some ass. 2012. I was in a supermax penitentiary in northern Nevada, and I was cellies with this dude from the Midwest. And dude was very, very, very disrespectful, which caused me to be very, very disrespectful in return. Okay, I think I have a feeling that I have a feeling that inappropriate laughter was trying to call me a retard, but since he talked into his phone, it said restart instead. Cause I Let me read his statement. He said, "Anyways, I hope y'all have a good day. I'm done listening to this restart." I'm almost sure he said retard. Yeah, but we don't care. We don't care. Your name says it all. You're inappropriate, so you know, just don't be inappropriate around young people, okay? But bye now. I will see you later. They got y'all up there in northern Nevada. I ain't ever se- I ain't never seen us in Nevada besides visiting Las Vegas. Yeah, they have a that he's a spammer, man. He comes in here and tries to play like he's official. It's like those guys that drive around and decommission police cars and end up getting arrested for impersonating a police officer. Same type of scenario. Don't worry about him. He is he is he's a fraud. He's impersonating somebody. What is it like being black in a Mormon country? Um, um, I don't. We're just gonna skip over that question. Turbo says, "Man, the few times I've caught your live streams, you've never came off to me that person that's been to prison. That's rough." Yeah, I've been to prison. Definitely been to prison, sir. And nothing to be proud of, but nothing to lie about. If you could pull up my history, you'll see it anyway. So it's not that hard to find out who the streamers are. And right. So what did I do? I was a petty criminal. I was burglarizing and stealing cars and carrying weapons and basic bum shit, basic petty crook shit, nothing major. That's why I'm still here because I didn't do anything of any real significance. Can you really do time and keep your head down with no problems, or does everyone eventually have to fight? I mean, I would say that I've seen guys that try to do what you just described, and because there's so many gangs from the streets, prison gangs, and everybody has control over different factions. If you're a non-affiliate and you try to just you can't stay to yourself in prison. It's such a small, closed off environment that you're going to get noticed and you're going to have to participate in something because, like, I've seen people try it. It's very rare. The only people who can really keep to themselves and stay out of the way are guys that's been down for 20 plus years, but they've already been through it. So, um, you know, to go to prison and think that you're just going to do your own thing, like, just go to PC, bro. Just go lock it up and don't worry about nothing. But now you're going to be isolated. So if you got 10 years to do, you're going to have to be isolated until they put you on a yard where you're going to be around people that you probably don't want to be around. So it's like, the moral of the story is don't ever get locked up because it's just not going to be a fair situation for you because they're going to say, well, you shouldn't have came to prison. So just stay out of that whole mindset. Don't even ask questions about it because then you'll get curious and then you'll think you're ready for it, and then one day you'll get in trouble like on some just absolutely fluke shit, like have a DUI accident where someone gets severely hurt and now you got to go do time and you're not even a criminal. You just accidentally did some shit, and so you're still going to be on the yard with all the killers and the gangsters and the professional prisoners and the convicts and the little finessers and the predators and the gang members and the just everything prison has to offer basically. And if you got any money, if your family really take care of you good, oh, you really gonna have the predators on you. Oh, you think you're just gonna be a non-affiliate and we're watching you go to store every 2 weeks getting hundreds of dollars, big zoom zooms and wham whams, top ramens and coffees and envelopes and stamps and got shoe. Oh, they coming for all of that unless you know how to fight really good. And even if you do, they'll be like, "Oh, he knows how to fight, guys. All right, let's just jump him." And then let's say they jump you and you beat him up. They'll say, "Okay, um, we jumped him and he beat us up. So let's jump him again, but this time we'll use knives." In other words, you won't win no matter what you do. You won't win. When you become a target, that's probably the dangerous situation you could ever find yourself in because people do kill. And no, I haven't killed anybody. And even if I did, I wouldn't be telling you about it. Have I listened to Gorillas? I don't know what that is, Jimmy. I have no idea what Gorillas is. Man, I could have sworn I asked Music Fan to stop blocking people, bro. How you doing, mate? Aussie dude, tapping in from Australia. Appreciate the love, man. Oh, that's why he okay, yeah. Turkey in the house. Gorillas are pretty unreal music. I've never heard of it, man. I really don't listen to oh yeah, absolutely. And that's just that song. You know, listen to the whole album, you know. Walking down the street, teary eyed, happiness is here, have your share. Don't you know that is true? That for me and for you, the world is a ghetto. That's a good song, man. That's a great song, man. Listen to that whole album, no, man. You know, that whole album is right. That'll take you to a place some of you cats ain't never even been before. And don't nobody hate Turkey. At least I don't. Focus on the focus on the streamer, not the chat, man. And the streamer gonna try to focus on the topics and not the chat neither because the chat is very disrespectful at times and the chat will piss you off if you let it. That's why it's the chat. Don't worry about the chat. The chat is gonna be the chat. The chat is the world, right? Picture the chat as the world, right? This is how the world works. This is just zeroing it down into a small little bar of comments, but it represents the entire society within the chat bar. So if you look at it like that, you'll get a better idea of how the world really is. It's been shrank down to fit inside of a chat bar. And that, my friend, is how the world really is. It is a harsh, disrespectful environment out there with a lot of crazies that try to convince other crazies that the sane people are the crazies. It is very oxymoron, but that's the way it is. Is it better to be broke in prison? Hell no. Who wants to be broke in a place where you'll starve? No, you don't want to be broke in prison, man. You don't want to be in prison at all. But since you put that question out there, no, you don't want to be broke in prison, man, at all. It's that's hard timing it. You're in prison and you ain't got no support. That's a double negative. Can't make no phone calls. Now you got to figure out how you gonna hustle, right? You got to figure out ways where you can make money off the tier, which there's lots of ways to hustle, but like, a lot of guys make greeting cards braid hair, do tattoos, run the gambling table, run store, you know, sneak in drugs through whatever their meanings are. But being broke is not fun anywhere. I don't care if you're in prison, if you're on the streets, if you are anywhere. Being broke is never a good thing. Not in the modern world, it ain't. Not in the Matrix. Being broke in the Matrix is like, bro, who wants to be broke in the Matrix, man? Did you ever witness or hear about a female CO getting smashed in prison, and doesn't that make you hot to other inmates? Yeah, man, I've heard about all of that shit. I've like so I've done enough time to where anything you can think of that happens in prison, I know about it all. I've seen shit that your eyes have never seen. Mr. Negro, how you doing? Turkey is a place I always wanted to visit, says Turbo Christ. Beautiful and so much cool, mysterious, and architectural underground cities. Also want to visit Bulgaria. Sounds like a plan to me. Unusable footage. Three male angels visited Lot's home, and all men in town wanted to be with them. So instead of letting them happen, Lot offered up his children. Okay. And this was a moment brought to you by Useless Information. Yeah, Turbo, you don't want to dig into any of those rabbit holes, man. Turkey has tons of biblical sites that you could visit. I'm going for a swim. I'll get up with you later, Mr. T. Man, shit, I wish I could go for a freaking swim. If I wanted to go for a swim, I'd have to go swim through the snow right now. Go scuba diving through 6 inches of snow. Hey, I was just playing unusable footage, but the way you put that message together, I really didn't even understand it. But it sounded like something that was unfortunate, you know. I am in Michigan, bro. Right here, right outside of Detroit. Like, Detroit is walking distance. What item of commissary causes the most jealousy and envy in prison? It used to be tobacco. Used to be tobacco. Now I would say it is any food items and coffee. There isn't no main specific food item because it's all shit. Like everything off the store list is worth money. So everything can be considered that. But I would say coffee is one of coffee and stamps are two of the most probably stolen items. And well, no, coffee, soups, and stamps. Yeah, there you go. Coffee, soups, and stamps. Because those are like the things most people have. Am I working somewhere? No, unfortunately, I'm not working right now, bro. If I don't have coffee and I see a chomo with 6 cups of Kroger, I might smash out too, to be honest. Well, if you're on the main line, you don't have to worry about seeing a chomo. All right, Sax, I'll hit you later, man. I'll be back on again later today, man. I'm gonna probably do 3 lives today, just however long I feel like going for. The Bible is wild. Come south, man. You know I've been thinking about south, but I ain't got no locked in destinations, man. I'm kind of stuck up here in Michigan in a boat without a paddle. up shit creek. You know, they've been attacking me a lot up here, man. I feel like the devil himself is trying to get me, but it's all good. I maintain. But it's hard to get a job right now though, cause my truck broke down, man, and I ain't got the money to fix it, so I'm kind of stuck right now. You know, the job that I could have got, it didn't go through, so not crying or nothing, but as of right this minute, I'm still unemployed, but you know, I think I'll be all right. You just happen to need money in the matrix, so if you don't have any, it's like shit can get real difficult really fast when you lose your job. You know what they say? Most average Americans are only one paycheck away from being homeless. You have a good, calm voice and you act like you're in control. You know what? I do display a tremendous amount of restraint and control over many situations. I mean, if you watch my lives and you only focused on my lives, then it would deceive you into thinking that I lack self control. But if you knew my life as a whole, you would reconsider that thought and you would say, wow, this guy, in fact, has a lot of self control. Because some of the shit that some absolute strangers did towards me and against me would have caused anybody else to go off and catch a case, but when you're fighting the mental warfare with anybody, you gotta think with your head and not your emotions. At what point in prison did it set in that you lost your freedom and you are in perpetual danger? What is the first week like? The first week is just consistent of getting to know everybody, and it wasn't that bad for me because I ran the streets. So when you run the streets, when you go to prison, a lot of those motherfuckers that you see in prison are people that you seen in the streets. So you're already kind of got your reputation established. Your identity is already known. You're just gonna have to reestablish it with people that you don't know that are in prison. But I didn't really have a problem because, like I said, I a lot of the cats I was up there with, they already knew me. And honestly, my first week in prison, I was already fighting people to establish my dominance and to make sure that ain't nobody gonna fuck with me because this is what comes with it, right? And there's people that have my prison file. So like if you watch it, I ain't bullshitting. My first week I was smashing shit, putting niggas in the hospital, right? I was low key one of those people you had to worry about. Maybe not everybody, but some people. I ain't the toughest guy on the yard by no means at all. I was a short timer. Every time I went through there, the most I had was 4 years. But um, people didn't fuck with me though. I was on the main line anytime I ever been incarcerated. And I'm not glorifying it. I'm just telling you the truth of my life. Anytime I went to prison, I got to chill on the main line around all the regular convicts. And I ain't never had to spend a day in PC or in the county. I was a porter. I had respect. I knew a lot of people. They knew me. And, I did my time. I went to school. I got a job. I hustled. I stayed out of trouble. You know, I worked out. I exercised professionally. And, I got through my little time and got up out of there. I wasn't trying to be on no extra shit because I didn't have that kind of time. I got caught with a few blades though, because I feel like when you're doing time, you should always have some kind of weapon because, you know, things could go bad for you at any time for any reason. And if you just ain't got no way to protect yourself, it's just you're gonna be in a bad situation because like one thing about prison is when you're dealing with the gangs, like if one guy wants to trip with you, there's a strong possibility you're gonna have to trip with the whole damn cartel of that gang, and that ain't never fun. All I can say to you in that situation is you better know how to fight, and you better have a really, 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 really solid heart. Because if you don't, you're gonna get ran up out of there, and once you get ran up out of there, it's almost impossible to come back. But I've seen it. I've seen it. Every state has a different program. Nevada is on the lenient side, right? You can get away with a lot in Nevada. Me being from California, we all had a higher standard. Not that people lived according to that standard in Nevada, but like around certain people, there was a standard that was set that you couldn't get away with shit in the California system that you could get away with in the Nevada system. So, that's as far into that as I'm gonna go, right? But like it was cool for me, man. I had a few regular fights, which is normal. And you just do your time. I played a lot of cards, played a lot of dominoes, read a lot of books. Me personally, I surrounded myself with people that had some type of knowledge. They always gave me a cellmate that was usually older than me, that's been down for a long time. So, I played a lot of chess, and I stayed out of trouble for the most part. Man, I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but I got in a little bit of trouble. The entire USA is a joke. We are all laughing our asses off at you. Okay, comedy sounds good, man. I'm glad that we were able to bring a high vibrational emotion up out of you, man. If you are laughing, then I am doing my job. As long as you're not crying, you're not feeling down and out. I'd rather you be laughing than you be crying. So if that was meant to hurt, it actually helped. So thank you, man. But he goes on to say, or no, excuse me, this is Bam says, comedy villain, trust and believe America has been laughing at y'all for centuries now. Oh man, we got a whole world war going on the comment section right now. Oh Lord, what is going on? People just think they're better. That's all. People are, like I said, there's a lot of egotistical people out there that operate out of their ego, and it shows in what they say. And that's fine. It's fine because long as you're in a safe space, then you can say what you want to say. Long as you're in a safe space, sir, then you can say what it is that you want to say. Totally normal is back in the house. How you doing, bro? Whatever it takes says the reality is citizens are fooled by their own government, and every country has pros and cons, but all we do is point fingers at the little guys who have no power. Yeah, that is very true. I would say everything you said, but I would say, but all we do is point the fingers at each other and act like we're better, when in fact, we are all in the same storm. Turbo says, my buddy had a brown recluse bite his leg and lost a large chunk of his flesh and skin around it, all dented. Yeah, that's what the dude that I saw looked like. It was terrible, man. The dent was so pronounced that I couldn't help it. I had to ask him what happened. Like I just was like, bro, what happened to your leg? But I wouldn't have thought that it was a brown recluse that did it. I would have never imagined that until he told me. I was like, wow, a brown recluse did that to you? He was like, yeah, man. I don't think America is better, but no way is it worse, if that makes sense. I think America has the biggest vehicles on the planet. That's what I think. I think that ain't no country out there fucking with our trucks. The F-250, the F-350 on a lift kit with super swampers on it, they can shut their mouths with their little Toyotas. Even though I like Toyota, but they didn't make Ford. We did. So we're shining in that aspect, right? No. Russia doesn't have Toyotas. Russia has its own vehicles, but they're tiny just like any other nation. We have the biggest vehicles right here in America. What country has vehicles bigger than ours, right? And remember this, America came with the F 150 as the first truck ever to be introduced to the entire planet. So, shout out to Ford for having the first assembly line ever, even though Mercedes Benz was the first car ever. We know that, German engineering. The Germans had the first car ever, but Americans had the first assembly line in the world where we could mass produce vehicles. Nah, I don't know why you hate Toyota. Oh, you rate Toyota or you hate Toyota? Yes, Russia has big trucks, but that's because I'm talking about city vehicles. Russia is a place where there's a lot of mountain ranges that people live way up, and a lot of those vehicles you're referring to are more like military style vehicles that were built for rough terrain. F 150 and F 250 and F 350 are not necessarily built for rough terrain. You can drive your big ass truck down any city street and um and um and be okay. In Russia, it's a little bit different, but like we're not going to compare the vehicle game to Russia. We're Me as an American citizen, I'm just not even going to go there with you, man. Like we're not going to even play that game. Like Russian vehicles are great vehicles, but when it comes to styling and comfort and dependability and size, we have multiple big ass vehicles. Because last time I checked, Russia doesn't have like a $80,000 GMC Denali, right? But that's fine because they can come get one from us all day long. Toyotas are outrageously expensive, yeah, but a Sequoia and a yeah, the TRD Pros and the Tundras, man, those are some great whips. But like I said, reluctant gamer, German engineering goes back to the beginning. Mercedes Benz was the first car ever created. But Ford came up with an assembly line to mass produce vehicles on a mass scale. So that's why we reigned supreme in the auto industry because we was pumping out millions of cars a year by the 1920s. Everybody had a car, you know. But we're not going to get into what nation is the best nation because Russia been to space before the Americans did. Russia is indeed very, very intelligent by all means. But when it comes to the vehicles, we got the biggest whips. I don't care what nobody says. The Cadillacs, the Lincolns, the Ford trucks, shit, the Chevy trucks, shit, the Dodge trucks, shit, the the Chrysler station wagons that they don't even make no more. We also got the fastest cars. I mean, you could say, "Oh, well, Italians got the Lambo," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right." Nowadays, I can't really say that now that I'm getting to thinking about it. We just got the big gas guzzlers over here. But you know what? I wouldn't want it no other way. And even if I moved to Germany tomorrow, I would still want a damn F 350 with not too many miles on it, with a big lift kit on it, with chicken buckets on it, big 30-inch chicken buckets sitting way up in the sky. But I would need a couple $1 million so I could fix and repair anything that goes wrong on it because our cars over here break down a lot too, right? So let's not forget about that. Our cars break down a lot, man. Renner Ruiz, I don't know who that is. Let me see. Did I ruffle anybody's feathers? What do you think about European and U.S. military alliance? I am from Germany, and I am fully with the USA. Um, I think that we might need you guys real soon. That's what I think. Can someone please tell Music Fan to stop timing people out? I asked Music Fan not to do that today. I think Music Fan needs to be reminded of what I requested. I think, like I said, that the United States is going to need the European military very soon. Let's hope that the European military doesn't leave us hanging. I don't even see you as anything other than the United Kingdom. I don't participate in government activities. I don't have an opinion on those subject matters because I am a citizen who barely has rights. I barely own my own skin. So I don't see you in any other way than another human being that lives in a different time zone. Yes, I am from the United States of America. But that doesn't mean that I have an opinion about what goes on in the USA. I have to switch mics real fast, people. I have to switch mics. Hey, quick sound check. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? All right, cool. Sounds good. Yeah, bro, I don't have an opinion. Like I said, I think really that Germany, Britain, and all the rest of NATO, right? Isn't that what it is, NATO? But what did you mean earlier by saying that you didn't have the right or the skin? What I was saying is that as an American citizen, I am the wrong person to ask because I literally have had all my rights violated recently. Um, I'm the wrong kind of American to ask because, like, I don't have. Um, I'm just the wrong American to ask. That's all I'm saying. Um, I barely own my own skin. I could. Yes, I could explain, but I will not be explaining that. It is too complicated. It is too unfortunate, and it is too heartbreaking to explain. But like, I'm just not the man that can speak on what Americans think about the European alliance. You would probably want to ask someone else. I don't have any rights. My rights have been violated beyond anything you would ever comprehend. I don't have rights. They've all been violated and compromised, and so I'm just the wrong person to ask. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. In America, you have rights until they say you don't. And if, see, we have a lot of little sidebar shit that goes on in America, man. And, all of the citizens are not free. I'm one of the people that are not free because, like, I am I'm a victim of a program that takes place, and it's really all over the world. It's not just in America, but I'm one of the I'm one of the subjects that you hear about on the internet. One of those unfortunate, you know, stories about people being pursued by other people with selfish and egregious intent that are subjected to unauthorized, experimentation and you know, people that hold satanic interests and who hide behind the shadow government. So our democracy has been in danger for a very long time. Democracy is an illusion. It's not real. There is no democracy. There's just a idea, a little see-through curtain of democracy, but on the other side of the curtain is control and servitude. Um, there's no privacy. There's no rights. There's even public executions that take place, and the entire society turns a blind eye. So, the best position to be in America is to be connected to some type of faction, organization, a power greater than yourself. If you adhere to that power structure, then you may be able to live with a small amount of peace, but you'll still be working for the principalities. You will not be free. You can work all you want, but you cannot work for your freedom. When in fact, your freedom is supposed to work for you. But in this reality, our freedom doesn't work for us, and we are unable to work for our freedom. The world is bad, my friend. It gets worse and worse as you get to the smaller places. The big places are bad, so imagine how the small places are. They're terrible. If we got it bad, they got it terrible. Did you hear about the 12,000 Iranian people that got murdered the other day? Excuse me, they got unalived. I gotta watch that M word. Yeah, well, imagine being in Iran right now. They over there outright unaliving people, and they doing it to where it's to the point where over there, if you walk down the street, there's bodies laid out everywhere, blood and everything smells like decomposing flesh, and it's really bad. So yeah, it's bad here, but it's worse other places. So you know, at least we keep the illusion of democracy up for the rest of the world to see. And that's because we encourage immigrants to come here and start a business and prosper and live the American dream. But unfortunately, what nobody told us was that the American dream is for the common foreign man and not the average American man. Because if it was, they would have taught us how to attain the dream. They would have never just sold us the idea that, hey, you can achieve great things in America, but they never taught us how to achieve them. So that's how we figured out it was a lie, was the fact that they told us one thing, but they taught us another, right? If if I tell a dude he could be a welder one day, wouldn't it be my responsibility to teach him how to weld? If I told a guy, hey man, you can be a welder one day, but I never showed him how to weld, then it's just an illusion. I'm just selling him a dream of what he could be. But if he doesn't have the knowledge to do it, and I know that it takes knowledge to do it, and I'm not teaching him the knowledge to do it, but we're over teaching other nations the knowledge on how to weld, then that means I'm selling my own people out with a false dream. You know what? I taught myself how to fish. Nobody taught me how to fish. Nobody taught me. No one's ever bought me a fishing pole and said, here, this is how you put a hook on a line. This is where you put the weight. This is how you bait it. Once it's all put together, go throw it in the water and wait for a fish to bite the worm. Nobody ever taught me that sequence of steps in order to catch a fish. I just went and bought my own equipment when I had some money. And I put it all together and I failed multiple times until I seek knowledge from here and there and everywhere and figured out what I was doing wrong. And once I got it right, I started catching fish. But nobody taught me how to do it. They just told me that if you teach a man how to fish, he'll never go hungry. But I never, no one's ever taught me how to fish. Hey man, stay strong, but why don't you just consider moving to another place? And I respect you. You know what? I need some money, bro. That's all. I don't have any money right now. I'm broke as a joke, man. If I can get some money, then I'll have an opportunity to change my condition. But right now, I'm kind of just where I'm at and really don't have any immediate plans of moving. Kind of just here for now until, I figure out a way to change my condition because I would never hope for a miracle because, miracles just don't happen in my life anymore. I've had a few miracles, but not really. Hey, man, can I get 2 likes to have 20 likes, man? Could someone, 2 people, give me a like so we can get to 20 likes? We 130 minutes in. That's 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was hoping I could get like, 20 likes in a 2 hour period. So, hey, man, please don't forget to hit that like button, man. Highly appreciated. Um, I've already amassed around a couple likes, but it's very important to keep those likes going just so, you know, it will get recommended to people. I liked already, man. I can't do more, but perhaps I could bring my friend over. Okay, well, no, hey, man, listen. Hello there, sir. That's a nice hat. Oh yeah, man, it's just a hat, keeps my head warm. I was up early today, shoveling snow, so I had it close by. I had to put my snow boots on. Ireland in the house. Tell Conor McGregor I said, hey, hey. Conor McGregor's a fighting ass guy, boy. He be knocking shit out. 20 likes. There you go. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Shuffle Shorts, man. You guys are awesome, man. And they even jump straight up past 20. So, I always appreciate when people can extend gratitude and you know, it's always a great thing for me, man. I'm so grateful, man, just for being able to be alive on this Thursday morning, to be up and active and talking to y'all. I was wilding out yesterday, so I knew I had to come back today with some more calmer demeanor than I was yesterday. I be getting worked up, man. I do it to myself. How was your church on Sunday? You know what, Mustafa? I don't attend any services. I just pray on a personal level, and that works for me. But I don't attend any services at any churches. Um, I'm just when it comes to my belief system, I'm kind of personal, man. I don't like to fellowship with a lot of people out in public. Man, if you would have been older and have money, yet I would have given you money and be the miracle that you might need. But sadly, I can, since I am not grown yet. But if I shall ever be rich, I'll make sure. Oh man, don't worry about it. By that time, I'll be back on my P's and Q's. I'm not a poor man. Well, yeah, I am, but I'm not. It's not that bad. It's hard to explain the situation, but don't worry about it. I appreciate the gesture, though, man. It's the thought that counts, man. It is the thought that counts. But as of right now, it's not that I need anything from anybody. I don't need anything, right? But um, like I said, I appreciate that you even thought of it in that context, because it's always good to know that somebody is willing to help a person out of a difficult time. That's what the world should really be about, but instead it's more about tearing certain individuals down and then kicking them while they're down there. So it's like that at times, but at any rate, you see me here. I'm healthy. I'm strong. Um, but like I said, my situation is a unique situation. So I've explained it so many times though to people that I'm exhausted. I don't want to explain it no more. It's really not even that type of what you would call it. Oliver, what do you want from me, man? What do you want from me, man? Like for real. Trying to really understand, what do you want from me, man? I don't know why I look like a thief to you, sir. I guess that you're a profiler. So anybody could look like a thief to you. How you gonna ask me why do I look like something to you? Real homies kiss with tongues. Okay. All right. Yeah, absolutely. O says, I think it might be due to having brown skin. Yeah. Okay. Oski Delaroski. I don't mind anybody, man. They have their own demons to fight, obviously. I just always found it fascinating how people come off as if they don't have any problems or worries, but they're laser focused in on other people's. And then they say shit like what this guy said. It just very strange. Very strange. You got the time to focus on me, but you ain't got the time to focus on you. Fascinating stuff, man. Fascinating stuff. Face is the index of a person. You're surely a thief. Okay, shoeball. Absolutely, man. If you say so. I am not even trying to dispute any of your claims. I told you, How you view me is your business, not mine. May I ask, why do you even stream? Why bother with those people? I stream, sir, because I like to stream, because people actually mess with me. Just because there are a few that don't is not going to determine what I do based on the opinion of others. Just because they have a bunch of bullshit to say, that's their right. They have the freedom of speech on their side. So, you know, I'm not worried about it. And Captain Kev just said it best. If you put yourself on live, you're going to get judged. Simple as that. After you after you stream for so many hours, you get immune to the hate and the judgment. It doesn't, the more you stream, the more you see it, the more desensitized you get to it, and it falls back into the background. Do you see it? Of course you see it. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Because you will never get these people to see you in the correct lens. And, that's a them problem. Once you realize it's a them problem, you kind of get over it. Like, okay, well, this is a them problem. They're judgmental, and it's not just judgmental with me, they judgmental with anybody like me. And they probably look in the mirror and judge themselves. So, you got to just look at it like that. And Geek wants to talk about all the good stuff, nanotechnology and gang stalking. What if, in theory, Geek, just what if, bro? Just think about this for a second. What if I don't want to talk about that today? What if? Would that be okay with you, sir? Okay, well, I figured as much. I figured as much. You know what I would appreciate? If you and all your goons would exit stage left. That's what I would appreciate. If it's my stream and my rules, how come I can't tell you guys to leave my live and go somewhere else? It's my stream and my rules. I don't want a number of you guys here. Yeah, but you guys are so judgmental, as if you don't like what I'm talking about. You don't care what I'm talking about. You feel like I'm a pointless individual, then why would you stick around to listen? You want to talk about nanotechnology and gang stalking because you're a troller. You're an agent of chaos and you like to stir shit up, but like, you want to sit and listen to a guy like that? You think I'm a little out there. Okay, fair enough. What's going on, Godfather? Good to see you, bro. Okay, well, if that's not me, bloated toad, then why don't you go and find somebody like that? I can tell you this, YouTube has a wide spectrum of options. Not saying they're good, but they're there. There's something on here for everyone. That much is a fact. The guy said it's my stream and it's my rules, but when I try to enforce my rules, they get rebelled against. I think you guys are really rebellious. That's what I think. I think you guys just like to see person all worked up and angry and looking like an idiot because that tickles your fancy. You ever heard that saying? It tickles your fancy. Well, why don't let me ask you this, bloated toad? Do you have a page? Do you have a channel? Do you talk about anything of substance, or do you just talk about other people through a chat bar? I'm just curious, bro. Do you have your own channel and is it populated? Are you able to go live? And if so, what do you stream about? Because it sounds to me like you are a bigger streamer than most individuals on YouTube. That's what it seemed like to me, man. No, I ain't from Chicago, Goldie. I'm from Michigan. How you doing, Gracie? Good to see you. I'm thinking about cranking it up, but I work 3 jobs. You see how you're the individual where you can't come with a straight answer. You gotta always, bro. You know what I can already tell about you, bloated. The way that you talk, you be one up in yourself because you can't just straight up say no. I don't have a channel, but I want to create one. You have to say you don't have one because you're too busy to have one. But the reason that I'm not buying that is because you have the time right now to be on YouTube. And with this same time frame that you on here talking shit to me, you could be on here talking sense to a crowd of people like me with this meaningful shit that you say you have to say. You could be using this time to have a pay, to have a channel. But instead, you're sitting up here trying to, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, but like, you got 3 jobs. Okay, well then, like, you're not doing nothing right now. Go drop you some short videos, get your subscribers up so you can have your own page, and then you don't have to worry about what I'm up here saying. You see, but you want to try to, you're trying to, you trying, you like, I don't know, that's crazy. Like, you're trying to outdo your own words. Well, I'm thinking about it, but I got 3. Well, okay, but like, bro, that sounds retarded because you're on my live. You could be uploading videos right now. But instead, you're wasting time in my chat telling me about myself and how I ain't talking about nothing. But you won't leave though. Oh, you're on break. So you think because you're on break, you couldn't use this time a little bit wiser? You know what? When I was on break, I was making videos. I was making posts on my channel. And this ain't even my first channel. I've had multiple channels, right? So instead of using your break time to come and talk some shit, upload some content, man. Work on your channel that you saying you're thinking about. Why are you only thinking about it? Because I'm gonna tell you what you really doing. You're trolling, right? That's what you are doing. You are being a fucking troll. So just think about that. Think about it. Just ponder on that. That's all. Right? Because you can come with every excuse in the book, but you know you want to be a streamer like me. I got you highly motivated, you feeling educated. Now all you got to do is take the first initiative and go upload some content and stop talking shit about the next man and then trying to say, "Oh, I'm only doing it because I got 3 jobs and I'm on break right now. So I'm too busy to be a low life content creator." But you ain't too busy to be a low life troll. But don't try to outdo yourself because, man, you know, I have a really good sense of the world and people and the way they like to bullshit so much they end up bullshitting themselves into thinking that I'm going to sit here and believe the bullshit that they spew. Because when we get past the trolling and we get to the substance of who you really are, we find out who's got the bullshit and who don't. And it ain't me. 9 times out of 10, it's never me. It's the guy talking all the shit. Ain't got nothing going on for real. You want to throw it out there, you got 3 jobs? Well, sir, you sound overworked and underpaid to me. If you got 3 jobs, what the fuck you working 3 jobs for, man? How much money do you need? Fuck kind of lifestyle is you trying to live? And you thinking about being a content creator? Jesus Christ. You sound worse than a prostitute if you ask me. You're prospering. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't no man need to work 3 jobs unless he's got major debt, he owes the dope man, or he got a bunch of kids. Just to be working 3 jobs to say that you're prospering, you're not prospering. You're gonna work yourself to death, bro. You will never get rich off a job, ever. So you think coming on YouTube talking shit to me, talking about I ain't talking about nothing, but then you reveal personal information like, well, I got 3 jobs, so now what? Okay, well, you're working yourself to death. I don't have any job. I'm laid back in the Maybach. But guess what? I've worked my entire adult life. This is the first time I've ever had time off, and I'm happy about it. I'm not sad and depressed because suckers like you say you got 3 jobs, because I know what it's like to have 3 jobs. You're working yourself to death, sir, just to sit up here and try to throw it in my face that you're prospering. How is a man with 3 jobs prospering? Sounds to me like you got 3 low-paying jobs and you're on break. And look what you use your break time to do. You use your break time to go say negative shit to people. So you're not even in the right headspace, bro. I like how motherfuckers try to step to me and sound smart and educated and noble and like what you think you are bigger man? Is that what you're trying to say? At the end, at the center of the onion, are you trying to tell me that you're the better man because you've got 3 jobs and you're just on break? So you want to do something petty like go troll a content creator? Something that you, in fact, sir, are thinking about doing yourself. I don't get you, man. What's to you, bro? It sounds to me like you just saying shit just to sound right, just to sound like you on something for real. But hey, man, anybody I ever seen with 3 jobs, bro, all I need is one good job, and that's it. I don't need 3 jobs. I ain't which 3 jobs, and that's 8 hours apiece. Well, let me see, 8 and 8 is 16, right? Plus another 8. That so you're working 24 hours a day. Is that what you're saying? And that's only if you're working straight eights at all 3 jobs. So if you just want to dig even deeper, how the fuck are you working 3 jobs if they're all 40 hours a week, 8 hour shifts? How are you doing it, sir? I don't even believe you now that I'm really thinking about it. Like 3 jobs, really? But I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I just wanted to. I wanted to like just let you know how ridiculous you sound trying to play with me. You and your little goon squad. Y'all ain't even real goons for real. You're internet goons, and that shit don't count. You don't get no stripes or no clout for being an internet goon. Especially when you just saying anything like you think somebody's stupid or something. It's not how that works, sir. So get back to work and leave me alone. Go work yourself to death. Don't worry about what I'm doing. But don't trip, because I'll be right behind you, man, at all times. And honestly, I'm about to end this live very soon because I need to take a break, go figure out what I'm gonna eat for lunch, smoke me a cigarette or something, have me a fresh cup of coffee, and I'm gonna be back at it. What's going on, Tupac in the house? My boys got popcorn ceiling walls. Hey, I do too. I think that's most homes nowadays, especially in Michigan, where the average home is 100 plus years old. You live in a trailer. I might. What's wrong with a trailer? Ain't nothing wrong with a trailer. Trailers are cheap. You can buy a whole trailer out of pocket nowadays. Show us your house. Donate me $100. My Cash App is in my profile. You want to see the house? Send me $100. You got that. Backyard and everything for an extra 50. Yeah, I know. I was on something else, man. Toadstool had me threw off for a minute, man. He didn't have me threw off. I just had to deal with that, man. Would you what was you saying though, man? Yeah, there's a reason why there's tons of trailer courts all around America. Shuffle Short says, I am here to watch your stream to learn about the hardships of others, the things that no one talks about. I am really respecting your gut to face the judgment of others and talk about the hidden truths. You know what, man? Hey, I'm just a motherfucking person who's got real life experience, man, who has been places that a lot of these other cats wouldn't dare to go, right? And that's why they sit up here and try to trigger me, because a lot of these people are undercover agents that get on YouTube. They know exactly who I am. That's why they go so hard on not just me though. It's nothing personal. They go hard on a lot of guys, right? It's a part of the business, right? You can't take it personal. It's just part of the business, right? Like dude said earlier, if you get on live, you're gonna get judged. But these cats ain't judging. They're just professional shit talkers, man. That's what they do, man. And if you can't handle it, then don't think about becoming a streamer, a content creator, or none of that. Because honestly, if you watch a lot of streamers, they do not read the comments. They just put their message out. There's very few people that pay attention to the comments, man. I'm one of the people that do, because I was on some shit like, oh man, as crazy as it sounds, I was trying to get to know my audience. But believe me, I know my audience now. My audience is wild. I wouldn't have thought that this would be the people that like to get on YouTube. And this reminds me of a party line from the early 2000s where everybody's just yelling at once, talking shit to each other, talking about pull up, bitch ass nigga. What's your address? I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna shoot you. Like that's what this reminds me of. Is back on my party line days. You know what I'm saying? Party line fucking gangsters, right? And if anybody is my age, you motherfuckers remember the party line. You get on there and go into one of the chat rooms, and everybody banging on each other. It's just a bunch of bullshit. You can't even talk. You can't do nothing because everybody's so hostile, and everybody's so hard and tough, and it's party line shit, man. It's party line shit on me. Party line shit, man. Man, get them likes up, man. Can I get 4 likes, man? I'm looking to get 4 more likes, man. I don't even need four, but can my people just hit the like button, man? That way I know, is my people in here, or are these just the trolls that are in here spying on me and shit, right? If I see the likes go up, I know that there are actually people in here who fuck with me. But if they don't move, then I kind of understand that. All right, we got some good folks up in here. I appreciate the 30 piece, man. Appreciate that, man. I really do. It's part of the business, Ed. E Dog, it's part of the business, man. It really is. The more you can take less personal, the better. You know, the less you take personal, the better. The more you can take less personal, the better. However you want to say it, but just don't take the shit personal. It's strictly business. Put the motherfucking gat in his mouth and told his ass to French kiss it. Sick is the way I leave my sign in the dark. You'll catch me lurking in the deep like a great white shark. Don't take it personal. I'll be right back though. I got something I gotta take care of real quick. But yeah, though, I'll be right back too after walking my dog. I just came back from letting the dog out and get a Coca Cola. No, I'm gonna pass on that. I got my good, trusty, rusty coffee mug. I'm gonna drink this instead. This coffee mug right here, I got this as a gift a few years ago, man. This coffee mug right here has been inside every place I've ever worked. Not every place, but almost. This coffee mug right here has been on many journeys with me. 589, okay. How about that? Can we get an extra subscriber to hit an even 90? That'll be fantastico. I need some more coffee though. Hold on. I thought this was coffee. I forgot I put water in here. So I got some developing news, people. Check this out. Today is a day of rest. So enjoy your day of rest. If you know you were supposed to work today and your job gave you the day off due to inclement weather, enjoy it because I just stepped outside and all the neighbors are usually gone at this time. Their cars are in the driveway and there is snow on every vehicle, which means they are indeed, in fact, enjoying their day of rest. So thank the job market for inclement weather because the kids didn't even have to go to school today. That's fantastic. Everybody gets to rest. It's a rare day of rest. The snow hit the region I'm talking about hardcore last night. Talking at least a good 4 inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches of snow, maybe 6, 7 in other places. So probably gonna have to head back in Friday though, because none of these companies can keep everybody at home for extended periods of time. OJ didn't do it, huh? Free R. Kelly. We got quite the activists in the room today, people. Doobie Roller. Sounds like an activist name. Don't worry, I'm an activist as well. T, I need to be studying for my driver's license next week, but I'd rather listen more to you and learn from your experience of life that I couldn't get anywhere else. Oh, is that right? So let me ask you this, Shuffle. Are you a subscriber? Are you subscribed to the channel? Because that's the $1 million question. Are you a subscriber? Because see, I also offer live sessions, right? Like right now. So it's more than just my shorts and my videos and shit like that. I also provide these live sessions that people actually do tap into, man. Like I have people that really They really like to tap in. I've just seen your live stream an hour ago, but I will subscribe. Okay. Well, if you want to be able to catch the latest on the greatest, I would highly suggest that's the move, is to become a subscriber. So when you check your YouTube and you see that red dot, that's how you know. Thank you for being number 90, sir. I highly appreciate that, man. I try, man. I really do. At times it may seem like I don't. I really do. I really do, man. I care about people, man. My channel ain't about nothing but just caring, but not being a Karen. I think we're gonna waive your subscription. Yeah, we're gonna waive. We don't we don't we don't have that in our contract. No, it's cool. Do boy. Well, damn, I damn near called him a do boy. I meant to say doobie. Hey, man. Hey, yeah. If you're subscribed on all 8 accounts, absolutely, man. Hey, why not? I gotta get them how I can get them, right? If you want to spam my subscriptions, then by all means, spam them. I ain't tripping. You know, you're either working hard or hardly working. You know, but I will say this, that I don't just do this stuff for nothing, man. I don't just do it for nothing. You know, there's always a reason why people should do stuff, right? You need to practice moving with intent, because when you move with intent, you can actually accomplish your goals. People that don't move with intent don't even know why they're moving, and that is problematic. So I just don't want you to come into my space and try to you know act like you're holier than thou and try to play games with people, because it's better if you're just authentic, man. Right? It just You get more out of a person when you're being your authentic self, right? Not even calling you a troll, just simply saying, hey, man, I've done it too. Before I was fucking around on these lives, I would go into people's lives and I would say stupid shit. But I realized that that's not the person I wanted to be, because it's like, it's stupid now. Now that I am getting all these hate comments, I see how silly it looks to be doing that shit myself. It's some silly shit. But now, if you're a professional and that's what you do as a profession, that's different. May I ask, what are some of the quotes that you follow for life? Which ones do you find is true? All of them, bro. And you can find my quotes by going to my short videos and just scrolling through and just listening to some of the things that I say. There's a lot of useful information in my short videos, man. I highly suggest that you go check them out. And, maybe you can come back later and tell me what you think. And if you were inspired or gain insight over anything I've said, right? Because most people, I'm like known for giving people insight. Like, you know, I don't say a lot of useless things, but then again, it's up to you, man. You gotta go check out and see if my product is good or not, because I think it's good. But One of the quotes that I go by is sometimes you got to let the crowd determine certain aspects of who you think your character is. You can't just look yourself in the mirror and say, well, I'm this and I'm that. This is how I think and this is what I believe when I say this. Because although you may think that about yourself, what does the crowd think? Right? What do the people think? Right? Because there's useful information in what the crowd thinks too. Right? Complete strangers can give you some of the best advice that you'll ever get in your life. Your family and your friends are always going to give you biased opinions because they already know you. But see, a stranger doesn't know you. So what they say is it's what they see. It's like getting advice from a little child. If a child calls you ugly, then you're probably ugly. But if your family calls you ugly, you're probably just getting hated on. Mac Truck, what's going on, man? You strike me as a man that's dabbed in psychedelics in terms of the way you see the world, if that makes sense. You know what? You would be incorrect in that analysis, sir. I don't dab in psychedelics. Not me. I respect my mind enough to not get it hooked on drugs. And let's be real, drug addiction is in the mind. Then it takes over the body because the mind's not strong enough to just be, resistant to addiction. And most people will tell you that they don't do drugs because they have an addictive personality and their body will like it, which will in turn get them heavily addicted. Yeah, I need to work on my attitude though. My attitude sometimes gets the best of me. I have an ego just like the next person. I suffer from a lot of the same defects of my character that other people do. So please don't look at me as any greater person than the next person because, self improvement for me is a lifelong journey that you'll never ever be able to master because there's just too many different kind of people out there, especially if you're trying to do something in the public, you know. But at the same time, I say if you're constantly trying to change to fit what other people say, you're gonna be all over the place, and you're gonna forget who you are because you're gonna always be trying to people please. So I'm not telling you I'm a people pleaser. I'm just saying that if you tell me some good shit that I agree with, that I can make a permanent change about, and I don't have to keep changing it for everybody, then I'm willing to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But the public is a harsh arena, very, very harsh judgment going on in the public arena. They don't play no games. They'll tell you right to your face that you suck. That's why every celebrity doesn't make it, because some celebrities just, they suck. I gotta go get the dog real quick. Oh my God. The dog is not ready to come in right now. I went out there, this cat out here eating fucking snow. Only dog I ever seen that sits there and munches on snow. I told him, stay away from the yellow snow, bro, because that's where you peed at. Don't talk yourself down too much. Oh, no, not at all, man. Not at all. I actually like to uptalk myself, but that be that ego I'm talking about, But I really enjoy chopping it up with people, man. I've had a lot of time in my life to conversate with complete strangers, man. And that comes from, the street life, when you're just out there in the element, and you get to know people and you get to know the world. Like, I like to say, I get to know the city that I'm in. You know, um, I've been a lot of places, man. And I don't mean around the map. It's just I've been a lot of places where depression is real, poverty is real. I've seen the ugly reality that a lot of folks don't have to worry about, right? I've seen the toilet of society. I've been in the toilet of society. I've been there. I've done that. It's not a fun place to be, man. I've seen what despair really looks like. United States, the state of Michigan. There is a thin line between ego and your actual self. You shouldn't cross that line of ego and be delusional, but you also shouldn't devalue yourself lower than your true value. Of course, I don't think anybody should do that, but they do. They absolutely do. And maybe I have too. Who knows? What do I think about Donald Trump? I think he's a great guy. I think he's taking this country in the direction it needs to go in. That's what I think. T, I haven't been there at all. I only have gotten the luck to be born in Germany and never faced this yet in my life. 17, boy, you ain't lived yet, man. You ain't lived yet, bro. But don't worry, you will. Germany, not too sure about how Germany operates. I know Germany today is not the same Germany as yesterday. I know Germany has a long history, but I know there's some very, very intelligent people that come out of Germany. So get your education, man, and learn everything you can. And I think you're going to be an all right lad, man. That's what I think. You're doing all the stuff you've revealed to me just in this short period of time. It sounds like you're an average teenager making his average normal milestones. What do you think about India and Indians? I think that Indians are cool. I've put it like this: I've never met a race of people that I didn't like. Like, in other words, I've never just met a race of people where everybody in that entire race group are just awful. Like, I've met good and bad in every ethnicity, right? My own people included. So it really is going to always be my answer that I like, no matter who it is. Indians are cool people. They're very hard workers. They are great in the medical field. They're some of the best doctors that you're going to find. And that's what I think about Indians. They know how to run business too. Okay. Sounds like a plan, Marlon. Wish I could have wish I could have been out there on the water with you, man. Not necessarily swimming, but I would have needed a boogie board, to be honest. Yeah, yeah. I really don't know. I am doing my A levels and I want to become a CEO and help people while I'm also looking and learning about the stock exchange and building social net worth with adults or strangers to learn and grow. Well, you're in the right place, man. Germany is a place where you gonna get to it in Germany, man. Germans don't have to worry about the same idiocracy that Americans have to worry about, per se. I mean, there's pros and cons to anywhere you're at, but right now in America, we're going through a lot of idiocracy, and just do your best, man. So we're at 182 minutes. Yappertron just stepped in the house. How you doing, Yappertron? Just sucks because our family maid quit and she's been with us for a long time. Why'd she quit, Marlon? Um, I'll start by saying this. I never I never thought or considered having to answer about keep going until recently in my life. A lot of people have been wanting to know about me keeping going, and I just always thought that human beings are some of the most resilient creatures on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And it's not how, it's just what we do as human beings, right? It's just, I feel like maybe people are used to seeing so many quitters or something, but like my litter, we weren't quitters. I come from a place where people, we understood from a young age that life wasn't going to be easy for us, but we knew people who life was easy for. We had friends that we assumed had easy lives until we got the call that one of them committed unaliving themselves. All right, yeah, Patron, you as well, sweetheart. Talk to you later. Um, yeah, we assumed that our friends that were financially better off than us, they had all the stuff that we didn't have, so we thought, oh, life's easy for them, but in fact, it wasn't. So, for me to answer that, to the way I keep going is basically simple mathematics. That's how I've always been. It's just who I am. Like, why would I want to stop? What is there to gain in giving up? You know what I'm saying? Why would a person even want to consider giving up, and for what reason? Is it just that bad to where you're just looking for any excuse to give up? Nah, man, you can't give up. Give up for what? Because half the time, the only reason people want to give up is because somebody else is behind the scenes pulling strings and orchestrating and trying to make you want to give up, right? So you gonna let that person win? You gonna let that group of individuals win? You gonna allow an unseen force to dictate how your life is gonna be? I mean, it happens, but like if you understand that a lot of this shit is just engineered in our lives, then you should know not to give up, because like I'm not one of those if you can't beat them, join them type of people. I'm one of those people that's gonna just have to keep bumping my head trying to beat them. Like it's gonna be a fight forever. All right, he finally brought his ass in. My mom wants to know why you were incarcerated. Does she now? Oh, no, I heard what you said. The maid is moving to Maui Wowie. She didn't got a better opportunity, man. And um, you know, um, I was incarcerated because I was a knucklehead. I was living life out of desperation a lot of the times, and I didn't value myself very much at certain times of my life because I didn't have nobody to guide me in the right direction. My father passed away when I was young, and all the male figures in my life were connected to the streets. So it was just a constant stream of bad influences and bullies. And so it's easy to get caught up in the wrong crowd when you don't have the correct family structure. And it's like that for a lot of families around where I grew up. So I hope that answers your mother's question. It wasn't about not having no money, neither. Money doesn't solve anybody's problems. As a matter of fact, money can make problems real severe. How you doing, Tears of Prayers? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the chat. Kick back and relax. Hi, Mr. T. Thank you for being so nice to my son. This is Marlon's mom just saying aloha. Oh, okay. How you doing, moms? Aloha to you. Or shall I say mahalo? I lived in a community in Vegas where there was a lot of Hawaiians. Um, they were well off Hawaiians though. They had money. They owned businesses. They drove nice cars. Lived in big houses. They weren't the ghetto kind. They were the good kind. We watch you all the time. I'll give the phone back now. Okay, absolutely. Very, very strong family structures. And if I would have had that, I probably would have been a better. I ain't gonna say a better person, but I would have been. I probably would have been structured different. I probably would have been able to be more successful. But then again, it's hard to say because I come from a bloodline of people that surround Freemasons and witchcraft. So you know, um, I think my life would have been the way it was regardless. So you said you were talking about people in groups trying to mess around with someone's goals, but what if it comes from the situation or just purely circumstances that someone fails perhaps? You know what, man? Like I said, here in America, man, there are people that are subjected to case studies without their knowledge. There's people that work around you that do stuff on purpose for your life to get thrown off course. They put obstacles in people's ways. Like every situation is not what you see, right? Everybody is not struggling because they don't have the intelligence or the perseverance to rise up and be somebody. Some people are down and out because others want them to be that way. There's an element to society that no one acknowledges, right? And you know, I am that truth teller, as you know, and I spit nothing but the truth, man. There is an element to this society that we live in that nobody speaks about, and it remains unseen and untalked about. And a lot of people are in messed up situations because it's by engineering and it's by design, and everybody doesn't have an equal opportunity. There are groups out there that withhold opportunities from people, and that's just the harsh facts of life. That there are people that get left out. You know what I'm saying? They literally, whether it's your family or it could be a lot of different scenarios, but like it doesn't get talked about enough, right? But that's all I'll say about that, right? There are people that get left out. There are people that just could have did better, but they got held back on purpose. There are people out there that got certain things put in their path to keep them in a low vibration. And it doesn't get talked about enough, but it is absolutely a reality for a lot of people. And for people to sit there and beat themselves up and thinking that they're just not enough in life is crazy to think about, because that is not the truth. A lot of individuals were held back on purpose. The government conducts a lot of secret operations around communities, and they target people's children up into adulthood. They even target the mother, the father, the family. There are organizations that are just downright evil. So, everybody that you see down and out that's struggling, just consider it's by design. It's not their own fault. That's just the way it is meant to appear. That's why it's not talked about or acknowledged. But that's all. We need to be more open minded. Well, we don't need to do anything. I need to be more open minded. Let's assume that your car breaks down or perhaps you fail a project or something. How do you keep going through that? If it's not influenced by others, yeah, there are situations, absolutely. Okay, so I misinterpreted your question. I thought you meant in life general, in general. I didn't know you meant, well, if your car breaks down, it's simple. Learn how to fix it. That's how you persevere through that. If you score low on a test, take your studies serious. Stay focused. If you're going to do anything in life, be the best at it. And if you can't be the best at it, strive to be the best at it. Cuz if not, like, don't go into something because people want you to do it, right? If your parents want you to be a doctor, then you're trying to be a doctor for all the wrong reasons, especially if that's not what you want to do, right? If you want to drive a dependable car and you're worried about it breaking down, then start learning how to fix shit, right? Learn how to change your own brakes. Learn how to change your shocks. Learn how to change brakes and rotors and hub assemblies. You know, learn how to change an alternator, how to clean a radiator, you know, how to diagnose problems. And that's how you get through stuff like that. That's what I do, man. I do a lot of my own repairs on my vehicles. The only reason my truck is broke down is because it is a major issue. My truck needs a new motor. I don't have the money to put a new motor in my truck. So unfortunately, I have to be without a vehicle right now, and I have to sell the car to somebody who has the finances to put a new motor in it. And if I had a truck still running, I would have my job, which means I wouldn't be low on funds. So it's like, I have to figure out how to persevere through this time that I'm in right now, you know. So the first thing I'm going to do is learn my community, ask questions, see where the small resources of information are, not a resource of, tangible stuff like money and opportunities. No, I'm just going to ask around and see who knows what about everything around me, right? And if they give me some good information, then that becomes my starting point, right? Oh, hey, that place over there is hiring. Oh, is it really? Okay, that's walking distance. Let me walk over there and put in the application. And even if it don't work, that's still my starting point, right? That's how I persevere. I put my ear to the street and I soak up every drop of knowledge I can get out of putting my ear to the street. And once I get it all in and I absorb it all, then I consider what can I do with this information, right? Your community has all the resources you're ever going to need. You just got to learn how to utilize them. And a lot of times, hey man, your community, you just need to learn, do you have a friendly community or are you in a community full of hateful people? You need to figure that kind of shit out. You know, you want to figure that out. Take a walk down the street. You see a neighbor walking a dog, say hi to him, strike up a conversation with them, find out what they know. It's just little shit, right? But no, you're right. Your car breaking down is not an engineered issue, right? Unless somebody was messing with your car, right? But like I said, if your car breaks down and you want to know how to get past that, find out how to fix cars, right? If you score low on a test, study harder. Stuff like that. Oh man, Shane, I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing all right. I know how you feel, sir. I broke my tibia, shattered it, trying to keep a positive mindset. Well, why don't you try to open a fund me or something to gain some donations? You know what, sir? I actually did about 3 months ago, and I haven't been able to receive any donations through it. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I went about it the wrong way. Maybe what I should have did was market it to the community, but I when I first lost my job, I did that, and I don't feel comfortable still asking for help because I never asked for help from anybody. I always had a way to figure it out on my own, right? But there's things about my situation that are unique. There's a lot of engineer problems in my situation that I could talk about it till I'm blue in the face, right? But like it doesn't change anything. Even if a person says, "Oh, you know what? I believe you." Okay. Now that people believe that my troubles are not caused by my own doing, what is that going to change about my troubles? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't need to express that to anybody. I'm just gonna figure it out like I've been doing, man. But yeah, I did start a fundraiser and it didn't go anywhere. It's still up too, you know. It's still up. If you want to know where it's at, you can send me an email and I'll give you the information and you could go check it out for yourself. But it's been up for about 4 months now, but I haven't received any donations, right? Got my Cash App, got buy me a coffee account on my profile. Nobody uses it because when you see an able-bodied man that arms and legs work and is not handicapped, nobody wants to donate to a guy like that. Now, if you've seen a single mother with 5 kids that is about to lose her place, she'd probably be able to raise $500,000 and get a new house and car. But I'm not a single mother with 5 kids, nor am I handicapped. So, the expectations for a man is just a little bit higher. Even if the problems around him are engineered by people in the background that like to just, block opportunities and bring you down. It's like you could tell people tell you blue in the face, but number one, ain't nobody gonna believe you. But number two, the people that are aware that that type of shit happens, they're just gonna deny it. You know. But at any rate, like I said, man, we're living in some very dark times, and I believe that these dark times have always existed. It's just that with the rise of social media, we're really being able to put this shit under a microscope and really see it these days more than ever before. I'm not really pushing through anything, man. I'm kind of just here. I'm not really pushing through anything because, like, as far as my lifestyle, I've been in the state of Michigan for 9 years and I've been gainfully employed the entire time, right? But, if I were to sit down with you and go over the details of my life, you would get a better understanding of where I'm coming from. But I'm really not all that comfortable anymore revealing, my troubles to the public because I get a lot of harsh judgment of unrealistic, unreasonable people that they don't care either way it goes, whether they know it's true or not. It's besides the point. This is a very dark world that we live in, and some people were meant to struggle. And once you understand that about the world, and you will, as you get older, you will see the ugliness for yourself. Everybody will see it. It's there for the world to see. It's just hidden in the shadows, it's hidden in the background, but it's there. It's there. But, anyways, check this out, youngin'. Hey, I'm about to end this live for now, and I will be back in a couple hours. It's 11:30, so I'll probably be back around 1 or 2 o'clock. I need a break. Um, Go relax for a little while, eat something, yada 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 type stuff, and you guys have a good day. I'll be